go inside Beaver Dam High School athletics and activities here today as we bring in the esteemed Director of Athletics and Activities, Ryan Gerber. Ryan, can you believe we are just heading down the home stretch of the winter sports season? Tournaments are underway, and next thing you know, we'll be talking about regionals, sectionals, and I guess we're talking about regionals and sectionals now, but state tournaments too somewhere in the near future. It's unbelievable.
State tournaments are right around the corner, so get ready to be heading to Madison, hopefully for a couple different things and elsewhere. Yeah, it's a great time of year. We're actually today meeting with spring sport athletes, getting them signed up because spring sports will be right around the corner, but we'll save that for another show.
Exactly. Let's start with boys hockey last night. The Daily Dodge TV crew and ESPN Beaver Dam crew and a bunch of fans made the short trip to Fond du Lac and the Blue Line Family Ice Center. Beaver Dam boys hockey team, great effort. The final score was 6-1, but the boys battled. They led through the first intermission, and Fond du Lac was just able to find the back of the net a couple of times on some tough goals, and Beaver's season comes to an end.
Yeah. A couple things. I think, first of all, we need to be mindful of the seniors that have really put so much into the program the last few years and really thank them. This was a challenging season. We knew that going in, and yet they made the most of it. Zach Shave was stellar in net all year long. Mason Poznansky was great offensively. Got contributions from Ben Schauman throughout the year. Dustin Warner certainly got a lot of ice time this year. So, thank you to those seniors who put it out there. But, this team really defied a lot of expectations. And because they were so young, because, quite frankly, just smaller than a lot of teams, it was a challenge from the day one. And I think this team worked really hard to get where they were. And the staff did a brilliant job just getting them ready. And they were at a point where they rattle off a number of wins in a row at the middle part of the season. They at one point this year, they won 5 of 7 and were looking to really go on a run. And then, of course, weather hit and canceled that Rapids game. And that's kind of where things went opposite. But a lot of good things happened this year, a lot of growth and development. And I think we're starting to see the seeds of what they're going to have in the coming years with some of the guys that stepped up.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the freshmen and the first-year rookie sophomores, really made some great strides this season. And then obviously the numbers down at the youth hockey level too. So you got some more kids coming in next year, Ryan. So numbers are going to be pretty good for Beaver Dam hockey here in the near future.
Yeah, we're actually talking about the potential of a JV team, which would be tremendous. Since you and I have been talking, we've always said, we need to get to that third official line. And it would be great to have a fourth line, but to have a JV program and really give some of these young guys extra developmental time where they're not thrown to the fire, it would be tremendous for not only for the development of our program, but just for hockey in our area. Certainly our co-op partners are helping with that, but Beaver Dam Youth Hockey is certainly back on track and the numbers are there. So I'm excited about the future. We knew this year would be a down year compared to the last couple. But I don't think it sunk to the level of what some people out there were predicting. I'm really proud of this group of kids, how hard they've worked. And again, I'll say it, this coaching staff is just tremendous. They're going to finish the season with 7 wins, but to me, the job that this staff did in mentoring these young men is nothing short of spectacular.
Coach Kraft says not only next year in our post-game talk, but the year after that, this year will make that impact on his program. So congratulations to them on a successful season. Everybody represented Beaver Dam, in a great positive way, and it's a fun team to watch. Another team that's been fun to watch, Ryan, the girls hockey team. They will start their playoff run next Tuesday at the Family Center. Opponent to be determined, either the Metro Lynx or Rock County coming to town for the sectional semifinals.
Right. And, the girls team comes in winners of the last 8 games. They were able to cap off the regular season in the Badger Conference a perfect 12-0. Now, we've mentioned it quite a few times. The playoffs are all of their Badger Conference teams. That's just the way girls hockey is set up. So they're going to have to beat a couple teams for a third time in a row, and that's tough. I don't care what sport you're talking. That's tough to beat anybody 3 times in a row, but they're going to have to do that if they want to get ultimately to the state tournament. But they await the Metro Lynx out of Middleton and that Madison West co-op, or the Beloit Fury coming from Rock County. We'll see. Again, they've played both those teams tough this year, and they've had a little bit of a layoff here too. This is, as a coach, this can be a godsend because you get people healthy and you kind of move through the sickness a little bit, but you're also not playing live games. So how they prepare this week and into next will be really important as they get ready for that game on the 25th that they host.
Yes, it is two full weeks off. Coach Pogorelic has been working, some practices, doing a few different things, kind of keep the kids engaged and keep them sharp, and they'll be ready to go on Tuesday night. We need to fill the family center that night, don't we?
Yeah, okay. This is a historic season for the girls program. We did co-op with a program to the north, and since they've come back here, there's been a lot of hard years and tough years. And so not only should it be something we celebrate, but we want to make sure we get behind these girls. Their efforts have been tremendous here. We want to give them that home ice advantage that the boys enjoyed. If you remember back to the last couple of years when the boys were playing for conference titles, the family center was rocking and rolling, and that really provided our boys with a boost. We want to provide that for the girls. So come on out Tuesday. Looking at the schedule, there's nothing else going on from an athletic standpoint. We're kind of waiting on the girls' season to get under the way. They're basketball, they're going to be hosting later in the week. The boys are off that night. So come on out to the Family Center. If you've never been out to the Family Center, it's a great venue to watch hockey and to be able to watch a great team compete.
Yeah, so again, come on out. That's a puck drop. That's a 7:30 puck drop, I think, isn't it, Ryan? Does that sound about right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. We requested a 7:30 start time.
So, again, back to girls. If they would win, you have to win one game at a time. The sectional final will be down in Janesville for whoever wins that game on Friday night, the 28th as well. Girls basketball, you mentioned TJ Jelka's squad garnered the number 1 seed in their sectional, and they're going to be hosting an opponent to be determined as well a week from Friday the 28th.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be either Slinger or West Bend West, 2 teams that actually will play each other again as conference opponents. West Bend West was able to get that win earlier in the year by about 7 points. So they'll be playing each other again coming up, and then they'll have to play that third time in the first round of the playoffs. So I think we'll have a pretty good idea of preparation for that game. We'll have plenty of tape on that. The girls team, first of all, hats off to them getting that number 1 seed. Keep in mind, basketball, like football, has a computer seeds. So the computer really felt like not only did our girls take care of business and perform well, but their strength of schedule warranted them being in the number 1 spot. I talked to Coach Jelka yesterday, and I believe he said that we had the number 2 toughest strength of schedule in Division II, which really speaks to their success because they have 14 wins on the year. So they've done a really nice job. They've played some tough teams, and even the teams that they've played where they've gotten beaten. I think of the game against Laconia a couple weeks back. That was a 5-point game late into the second half, and they just kind of ran out of gas. Played a tough game the other night against Brookfield East. That was a 6-point loss, but to a team that's going to be about a 3 or 4 seed in Division I coming out of a really tough conference. So this program right now is very battle tested. They're playing very well against the Badger Conference and playing very tough in non-conference, matching those tough non-conference games that we scheduled for them. So look for this team to really be ready to go when they finally host whomever that may be here on Friday night on the 28th.
So that should be a good matchup. The boys are going to fight. Boys have a game before we talk about I guess Seating's boys and girls both, have some games here coming up this week at Monona Grove, and boys get to go to the Oshkosh Arena, home of the Wisconsin Herd, on Saturday afternoon to take on Delavan Darien.
Yep. So this was a game that we were working on potentially getting at Pfizer for a while, and it just didn't work out. So we pivoted, and we'll be up at the Herd Center up in Oshkosh. So a really cool venue for our teams to play in, and actually really close for our fans to go and check out. So that'll be taking place on Saturday. Go on up, watch the boys play at the Herd Center against Delavan Darien. A really kind of neat environment there.
That should be fun as well. Then seedings come out for the boys on Sunday morning. We'll find out. Talking to Coach Ladder, he says they could be anywhere from a 3 to a 7 seed. He thinks with the computers, you just never know.
And seeding is important, but again, as we've talked many times this year about the boys, the way they shoot it, if they get hot, they can play with anybody. So they got a nice win over DeForest here at home Tuesday night. So again, this is a team that if they can get their shooting going, they've got about 7 guys that can really score, guys coming off the bench and really providing heavy minutes. So this is a team that can get hot and can play with anybody. So I think they're going to be real dangerous when it comes to that playoff time.
So I can't wait for that. We'll see the playoffs, and we'll be following all the Beaver Dam teams on their quest through the tournaments on Daily Dodge TV and ESPN Beaver Dam. Ryan, wrestling, it was great to see all the people out around the Family Center and in the field house last week. I know there's figure skating across the street, but you also had wrestling boys and girls regionals, historic girls regionals on Friday, the boys regionals on Saturday. It sounds like it was a good event for the high school.
Yeah, we're really proud that we're part of the inaugural girls wrestling regional tournament. Girls wrestling across not only this state but across the country is really taking off. I believe 42 states now have sanctioned girls wrestling as its own sport. It's the fastest growing sport not only in high school but college. I know Division 1, 2, and 3 have now sanctioned it for next year as an official sport. So it's growing, and we're certainly seeing that. There were over 1,000 girls that competed at the regional across the state last Friday night. So again, we're just very proud to go down in the history books as one of the first sites for that. We're going to have 5 girls that are going to compete Friday night over at Dodgeland in the sectional tournament for a chance to go to the state tournament. Last year, we had one individual, Charlie Winnicky, qualify. Charlie is in it. She'll be wrestling Saturday to make a return trip to the Kohl Center, but she's going to have some company with her. So hopefully the girls are ready to go. It'd be awesome to see a whole bunch of Golden Beaver female wrestlers up at the state tournament up at the Kohl Center wrestling. And then on last Saturday, we hosted the boys regional. We had 7 other schools and frankly, a very, very tough regional. Some blue bloods and marquee teams came in, and it was a really great event. It really was able to showcase our facilities, showcase our community. And we're going to have 8 boys wrestlers going on and wrestling Saturday at Hartford Union for a chance to go to state. Of course, one of those is Avery Femright, who placed 6th last year at the state tournament. So he'll be looking to make a return trip on his senior year, and a number of guys that are looking to try to break through for the first time. So between Friday and Saturday, we should know how many participants we're going to be wrestling at the Kohl Center. And that's kind of the cool thing right now. The boys and the girls wrestling state tournaments are held in the same spot at the same time. So it's not like basketball where you have different weekends and different locations. Wrestling, they're both at the Kohl Center. So it'll be a jam-packed Kohl Center next weekend.
Well, again, it's going to be a fun run here for the postseason. Hopefully we can, see some of these, the girls teams with number 1 seeds. The boys, obviously Tim Ladrin's squad, I think they can run with anybody, I think, as well in their sectional. And it's going to be a fun thing to watch, and, the wrestling as well. Ryan, I guess anything else we need to hit on here today on as we wind down February?
Well, I guess the other thing is just keep track of what our student athletes are doing. You can always follow that by going to our activities page. Don't just Google search it. That goes to the old website, and that's got to get fixed. But if you go to the high school page and then go to activities and athletics, on the front of that page, there's a button that says Postseason HQ. We're updating all of our postseason stuff as it happens. So if you're ever wondering, who they're playing or when they're playing, go check that out. I'm updating it for different games and different opponents, wins and losses, and as well as all the brackets are linked there. So you don't need to go searching all over the web. Just go to our webpage, find Postseason HQ, and that has all the information. And then you know what? After we have another successful postseason, winter postseason here, we're going to be looking at the spring, and I have a good feeling about that too. So let's keep the good times rolling.
I was just thinking about printing off the schedules for the spring to set our broadcast schedule on Daily Dodge TV and ESPN Beaver Dam, because we're not that far away. We just need Mother Nature to cooperate, right?
Well, it's going to warm up. So, hey, maybe, who knows?
All right. Ryan, I appreciate all you do. I know you put in countless hours. You're there early in the morning. You're there late at night. Sometimes you're there from early in the morning to early in the morning the next day, right? But yeah. A lot of stuff to be done, though.
A lot of stuff and good stuff coming. Like I said, we're going to be meeting with our spring sport athletes today. And then, we're not that far off. March and April, we're going to be looking at our signing day. We've got a number of athletes that are going to be signing on the dotted line to compete collegially. So we're excited about that coming up. So a lot of awesome things still to come for our student athletes here.
Ryan, again, have yourself a great day over at Beaver Dam High School, and we'll chat next week.
See you around, Wade.
That's this week's edition of Inside Beaver Dam High School Athletics and Activities on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.